Hi, welcome back to It's Happening Now. I'll introduce my compadres here. We got Chris, Gavin, and Greg. Give the camera a wave, guys. I'm Scott.
Yeah.
How you doing? Today we're gonna talk about. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about the pyramids, who made them, why they made them. Everything pyramids today. So uh, let's jump into it, guys. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean,
We
let's
didn't build them.
start off. Uh, let's start off with who made them. Pretty much everybody all across the world made them. It seems pyramids everywhere,
Right?
so that's pretty cool.
They're all built at the exact same time, too. These are
Well-
all civilizations that had no contact with each other, supposedly.
Oh.
So,
There's also
or-
images of pyramids on other planets too, or at least it looks like pyramids
All
on
right.
other planets. But
we're all truck drivers here. How heavy can your truck be?
80K.
80,000,
80,000 pounds.
yeah,
Legally 80K.
And that would be how many tons?
40.
40.
Some of the larger stones in the pyramid are 80 tons.
Right.
Alright. So 160,000 pounds.
That's heavy.
And people move those how?
Levers and ropes and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ancient
a
technology.
lot of manpower. A
I want
lot
you to-
of
I
manpower.
want you to go get a big giant log and then lay a log down, and I want you to pick up that truck with it. And I want to watch thousands of people dangling from this log, and then it snap. You know what I mean? It happened.
I
Absolutely.
get I was gonna say I get where you're going with it. It's just I've always seen, like, I mean, the humans are we are very creative and we are very determined people.
You're
And
right.
especially when you have a slave force, because that's what they had,
Right.
to I can make you do whatever I want, even when you don't want to do it. I'm going to force you to do it. I mean, there's a big difference there. I just, I mean, I believe in aliens and all that, but I don't know about that one.
Look, you're right. We are creative. We imagine we build things like this. All right. So let's go back to this. I think we all know that the speed of light. I mean, I know this. I don't know if you guys know
Yeah.
this.
Most people don't know the exact speed of
All right.
light.
299,792,458 meters a second. All right, that's how fast
He metric us, dude. Holy crap.
Well, that's how it's. I can change that to miles. Now, I want to tell you the Great Pyramid at Gaza. Its coordinates on our planet is 29.9792458 north. Let me repeat the speed of light for you again. 299,792,458. The coordinates 299,792,458. And we did that back then. We're walking around like, I got a bronze tool. I'm gonna chip away at some stones with my soft bronze tool and cut 80-ton boulders.
Well,
And
wait, that's ridiculous. They use stone to hit other stones with. Come on. They just used harder stones.
and you're right. And they cut it so perfectly you can't even fit a piece of paper between it.
Actually, I read some very interesting things regarding both of your points about the stones and about the slaves. In actuality, apparently,
They
for
were
one about
paid.
the slaves, they were
They were
actually paid.
But who
They were
knows
paid
that?
very well, according to the stuff that was written down.
I don't know
guess,
about the
with
slaves. I believe
Actually, they weren't. According to this, it was a Greek myth that was placed around to the people of the surrounding areas in order to turn people against Egypt. By the way, interesting little fact that I just learned. And then I also learned that there is a person who did a study on the limestone in the pyramids, and the theory was that maybe they were making a limestone concrete. And the test that he did found that the limestone actually has a makeup in it that is not readily found on Earth, that's not man-made. So it is possible that while it may not be something that we could have ever made even now, that there is a possibility that could have been made back then by maybe ancient people with far more knowledge than we have.
Look. Look, and
Interesting.
the government cares about you.
Look,
No, I'm just
okay,
saying,
wait.
it could be
I
ancient
wanna-
settlers from like another world or something.
we have to establish one thing first. Let's get one thing right. Greg probably knows this. How old are the pyramids?
Well, they said
roughly?
they're from around 2500 BCE.
Mm.
All right. So
Which equates to what? Almost
4,500.
2,000 years old.
4,000, about five.
Almost
If
four-
you think it's
4,000.
2,500 to now is 4,500, roughly around there.
So I want to go back to where you said, well, they're so precise you can't slip a piece of paper through there, and that's correct. But don't you think 4,000 years of rain and wind and sand and erosion will eventually kind of naturally weld those together? I think it will.
But they were-
4,500 years isn't long enough for that much of erosion to happen.
Bro, if
in
I
a
throw a really jagged rock into a running river in a matter of probably 20 years or less, that rock is going to be so smooth.
A million years?
No, I said
No, he's
probably
about
10
20 years.
or 20
It
years.
ain't gonna be 20 years. I can guarantee you that.
It ain't going to take 4,000. I promise you that.
Well,
But-
the Niagara Falls, I mean, that moves all the time. I mean, it
Right.
from that waterfall, it erodes that shit pretty quick.
But it's
Sorry.
been there for millions of years.
Right, but it used to be a
It
lot
ain't
further
eroded
down, and
so
it's
about to
it's
exist.
eroded back.
Of course. But I want you to think about how much, and I can get you the answer, water goes over that edge of that cliff a day. And then I
Oh,
want
it's
you
a
to
lot. It's a lot.
pyramid sitting in a desert.
Well,
And that, I mean, where's the erosion?
Lot-
The
Now,
sandstorms,
Right,
and
there's also a theory that it wasn't always a desert there. So
Yeah,
at
there
one
is that
time,
theory too.
It possibly had a lot of rain. and
There
it
you
was-
go. There you go. You hit the nail on the head. Thank you, Scott. It wasn't always a desert, but it was a desert when the Egyptians lived there.
well,
So
it's
if
always-
it eroded to this degree, it must have happened before the Egyptians got there. When the Egyptians got there, not until the 1800s did we even know the Sphinx addicted. I'm addicted. to the
Addicted.
Sphinx.
You're Sphinx
Existed.
addicted.
We dug the Sphinx out. It was completely covered in sand. No one even knew it was there. We didn't even know how
right.
tall the pyramids really were. So if that amount of erosion took place, and you're right, that part of the Sahara Desert used to be a rainforest. That means that amount of erosion over time happened before the Egyptians got there. And they even said, the ancient Egyptians said they were here when we got here.
Well, all right, but let's
Um,
let's go back to the sand. All right, like you said, we had to dig those out. They were basically completely covered up by sand over the 4,000 years. That's a lot of sand storms. That's a lot of wind and sand blowing over and around those things. That's almost like
Once they're covered, they're
I mean, it's
protected.
almost like sanding everything. You know what I mean? Literally
covered.
sanding
Right.
it.
Once
They
they're
were
covered,
covered.
they're protected.
that is
And it
true.
was
Plus,
covered by-
You're right, but how long did it take to cover them? They're awful big.
well, before they were also cut. They were also blocked by limestone. They were flat. They weren't blocks.
So we think.
True. No,
well,
that is
that's
true. Up until
like the
1500 AD,
yeah.
something like that.
Huh?
When it was like 1300 AD when they took off the polished limestone that covered it. It was
I mean,
actually
In all actuality, there's some really, really strong evidence that the pyramids were power plants.
Yeah, that's why they use the limestone.
Well,
It's
It-
it's an electrical insulator. It's really good at that.
Insulates inside the pyramid is
Yeah, it's quartz.
granite,
Well, granite and then
heavy
quartz.
Yeah, which is heavy in quartz. They're
Right.
all so
And that's a heavy conductor. I mean, that is really good for electricity.
it is very good for electricity. Crystals can store information like a hard drive. One day
Right.
we like that secret of being able to store in information in crystals. I mean, your CPU and your computer is basically crystals that vibrate on and off, which tells you
They
everything.
use crystals for signals with remote control planes and stuff. Tiny crystals in there. So
See,
yeah.
now I can go down this theory a little better than the alien thing. I don't know about that. But the aliens, but
Well, who built them?
them being electrical power plants, basically. I watched a lot on that stuff. I have went down that rabbit hole several times, and like the ancient Egyptians had batteries, and then they had they had electrical what would it be called? Like basically a storage, electric storage, like a big battery.
Well,
Away from the power plant. So you got the power plants, and then they had this long thing with copper wire running through it, which I can't remember who it said. Somebody stole all that copper, but it went down to the villages and everything, and then they had these big sarcophaguses. And they said that the theory was, before they figured out, like, no, these were more likely storage for electricity to power the cities. They were trying to say they were for like the pharaoh's mules or a horse or whatever. It's like, it took 50 years to build that. Why would they build something for 50 years down the road when maybe your horse will die and then put your horse in that? That seems a lot of work for a horse. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that depends on how you view things. Like back then, they were extremely religious in a way that, if let's say they were actually, power plants, right? Like Greg said,
right.
let's say that, energy is the main power of, let's say, the heavens, right? Because that's what everything's made of. Then maybe it was used in a way to just send your body, like it says, it was sent your soul to the afterlife. So
that's what
I mean,
people.
that amount of power. But I mean, that's very possible. Like if you think of an energy,
But, I mean,
state,
that's
right?
what archaeologists thought that they were for. They said they were tombs for the pharaohs. Nobody
That's what
ever,
it says in the scripts.
nobody has ever found a mummy in a pyramid ever. They weren't
Well,
tombs.
no, but what I'm saying is it's in the scripts.
Christopher Dunn, who was the first person to propose that they were power plants, he came with an idea that he said the two shafts that'll go out from the sides of the pyramid way down. You couldn't crawl in them. You couldn't get into them. Well, they were they used hydrochloric acid in the southern shaft and mixed the northern shaft chemical with hydrated zinc chloride, which makes hydrogen. Now, then there's evidence that there was water that ran underneath the pyramids. If you took water and you run it under the pyramid, well, that creates the pyramids to vibrate.
Yeah,
There
there were underground rivers under the pyramids that they used to bring up. And I mean, look, I can go with that theory. Like, it's just the alien thing. I don't think that we.
If you want to get into aliens,
I don't think we need. I know. I'm just saying, like you said that earlier. I'm just like, I could go with the power plant thing because I if you look at the pictures of the inside, like they have show you how the all the routes through the pyramids and everything, and it's like, it doesn't look like something somebody would live in. The ways to travel through the pyramids,
Right.
they didn't have stairs.
Right.
The steps that you see in there, they're wooden, and they were there for the archaeologists to be able to go through it, but there were no stairs, so it was just a tunnel. It wasn't like, how do you get to any of that stuff if you don't have stairs? Like, it wasn't built for pharaohs to be, their tombs. It was they were power plants.
They were absolutely power plants. So let's look.
I've always wondered what the purpose of the Sphinx was.
Apparently,
the pyramids and the obelisks. Well, the obelisks are supposedly conductors.
Oh yeah.
What was the purpose of the Sphinx? Was it truly just a monument for the king or whatever, or did it serve some other purpose?
Apparently, the ancient pyramids texts say that it's a protector of the of basically their shrine. So a pyramid was almost like a huge energy shrine.
Right.
I mean, I got.
All right, here, I'm going to share this real quick. It's not going to be kind of hard. I'm not going to really go into a bunch of detail here. But now look, you see these two shafts. All right. The left would be the northern. All right. Hydrochloric acid, zinc chloride. Doesn't that look like in the middle? It looks like a transformer.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
So these two chemicals underneath here, all right, was the river. It would create the pyramid to vibrate, just blah, 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 just water constantly hitting the bottom.
Right. That's one of the diagrams I was talking about.
Right. And so that's a little off on this picture. That chamber's a little closer to its dead center. Now, if we're talking about the known Egyptian people of our time, you know what I mean? What we know about the Egyptian, they existed in history enough for us to know how they lived, the tools they had, the things that they didn't have these tools. They didn't have this knowledge. They didn't build these pyramids. I mean, do you see anywhere? I mean,
I'm laughing at the comments, bro.
You hear the Romans saying that Cleopatra cities were lit with light bulbs and power and
What the heck, man?
no.
You see that?
What?
What the heck, man?
I'm laughing at the comments, not you, bro. Keep going.
Values purity. I value.
Look at the one
Yeah,
look at the one above that.
Look, I don't think they weren't running around with light bulbs and you know what I mean, stuff like that. But did they have energy to power other things? Yeah, we just don't know what. All of that was destroyed over the course of 4,000 plus years. You know,
no record of that.
There's a lot of different theories on what they use the power plants for. Like they say it was for electricity, which makes the most sense, right? With the way I was explaining it with
wireless electricity.
Right. You had the pyramids that were the power plants. Then you had, it's hard to explain, but you had like a brick wall that came down, and apparently there was copper wire in it, right? And it would go down to the city, and then those cities had the reserve batteries, basically, that would reserve the power and power the cities.
right?
It's really like great concept, and it works. It apparently would work very well. But there's also another theory that if you want to go down the alien thing, that they would shoot signals up to whoever
Space.
but with that theory, but with that theory, it says the power that it would need to generate that type of beam to shoot up the electricity that way, you know, straight up through space and go wherever, it would those pyramids would have exploded. Like it would be too much. So from what I've seen and everything I've looked up on it, it's the thing that makes the most sense is they were power plants. Did aliens come and help us build them or whatever? Or were they here before, like Greg said? I don't know. But I could look at the way we are as a species. We are very determined to get things done. And we do whatever is necessary to get it done. I'm
going to come over. Seriously. And I'm going to give you a
well, nobody knows what the alien or the aliens.
No,
Go ahead.
They had. We do know the tools they had. I'm gonna give you a bronze pick, and I want you to cut me.
But that's what they found, or that's what they've showed us.
They never found any bronze chisels ever. By the way,
the Egyptians
in that era,
all right? The Egyptians lived with the Romans, with the Greeks, with the people of the world that we have today. Language was well established. We know how they lived. I mean, there is no doubt.
But we can't even cipher what what it says in the tombs, and we can't even cipher the languages that are on the walls and around there. We can take a pretty damn good guess, but
we have pretty much. I mean, and these stones that came from the Great Pyramids were built out of came from 200 miles away.
Yeah, but
it was 500.
I mean, bro,
the granite came like 500 miles away.
During this time, they also lived in a very mysterious world where gods just apparently, you know, if you look at the writings, the gods lived among men. I mean, strange things happened all the time back then. I mean, isn't it possible that there was some level of, I don't know, knowledge that we just don't have anymore?
I want to know where you heard that they didn't find any bronze tools in
I heard it in a recent
let me see.
thing. I heard that they did not find any bronze chisels. Where is it?
I do that.
I
Hold
swear
on a
I saw
second.
that. Hold on a second.
I mean, right here is ancient Egyptian tools, which they found.
I heard they never did.
This chisel cut
Oh,
into stone. It
sorry.
dates back to about 1400.
In the Giza? Was it in
Yeah.
the
In the area
Giza
around.
area?
Yeah. Yep.
Look, I found something. I know
The desert. Blades to be narrow so that it wouldn't get stuck in the stone. You can't carve stone with copper.
Right. I
Oh.
understand that, but that's I never said they would be.
there's a place. I know it's on a little smaller level, but there's a place in Florida where a guy created a coral castle by himself. It took him many years to do it, but he did all this
by himself. He did it by
with
himself.
rudimentary tools and using levers and
Pulley
pulleys
systems
and winches and stuff. And here's a little bit of the article.
He didn't use rudimentary tools. He just used.
He used. Hold on, I'll show you what he used. He used that right there.
chains.
I mean,
pulleys.
yes, obviously some
They didn't
chains
have
and
that
wire.
back then.
But we don't know what really they had back then.
Right.
That's the thing I don't.
Point is where'd the pictures go?
there.
But look at what he built though by himself, one man.
Yeah.
With pulleys and stuff. You know what I mean?
Coral is calcium, basically calcium bicarbonate. It's soft. It's a shell. We're not talking about granite. I will buy you, and it won't be cheap. I will buy you a chisel, made out of copper, and I will buy you a piece of granite, and I want you to fucking carve that. I want you.
That's not what I seen that they used to cut it with. It was a big I seen this show a while ago where they had this big. It was just a thin line all the way, and they had this big blade in there, and they would push it through there, and it would cut the granite. I don't know what it was made of. It didn't.
This is the bronze copper age.
The blade wasn't there. They just showed you what was being used and how it was being turned when it was there.
It can't be there. According to modern archaeologists, and I just showed this, I'll show it again. These are tools found in Egypt, right here. Those are copper chisels.
I was wrong. My apologies.
Yep, you're fine.
I read different. I read wrong information.
This right here. All right. The blades had to be narrow so they wouldn't get stuck in stone. Copper will not carve stone. It's soft metal. Go over there and get you a wire.
Yeah, but where was that at?
They found that in Egypt. That was the tools Egypt had.
I thought you were saying that was in Mexico. I was reading something
That's
else.
not Mexico. It was found in the Mugatten Hills on the banks of the Nile. The following tools were used in completing the pyramids as well as temples. Those stones. You can't.
Okay, well, who did?
I don't know. That's the question of the show.
What did they use?
Lasers.
I mean, would that work?
If you had a powerful enough laser, I mean. So what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know. I've never. I mean, have we ever put that to a test of cut granite with the laser?
Yes.
Yeah,
and it still isn't as good as what the Egyptians supposedly used. I don't understand that.
Well, so you're right. Either the Egyptians were so much more technologically advanced than we thought.
I would say they were more determined because they had.
There's no way you can be more determined with that, man.
I mean, I wish
it's not possible. Like,
look at the castles they built back in the day that last longer than our houses do today.
Well, that's because they're made out of stone. But you live in a brand new house, right, Duffner?
Yeah.
It's 2028, right? You got a 4-foot level?
2024.
2024. Sorry, you got a 4-foot
Push me
level.
forward.
Breaks from the future.
You got I'm living in the future. You got a level? 4-foot level?
Downstairs. Yeah, I got one down in my basement.
Your house. I'm just go around, look at level things. And I want you to think about this when you're doing it. 4,500 years ago, that pyramid, each side, and it's been there for how many long it was, is 755 feet. Okay. And the base was level within 1.6 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch. So a 755-foot mark is level to that much. They didn't have bubble levels. They didn't have any of that in Egypt. That is,
I don't know what they use to do that stuff, but
we don't
what
do
I'm
that today.
what okay, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff. See, this is my whole point with this. Is I think they know what they used and they're not telling us. Like
I think
they keep a lot. Like it's just like the power plant. The way the videos that I watched and the stuff I read about those being power plants. If that is possible, why are we not using that here? Because it is such a better way to do it.
because we didn't build it and we have no idea what tools that were used. I mean, there is no other obvious explanation.
I don't know.
Than that.
I think they know. They just I think it goes. It's a little bit more simple than that. I think it is. They know how to do it.
I think
they don't want to do it because if they did it that way, most people would just get electricity for free. They don't know how to tax it.
No, I'm not talking about the electricity. Nikola Tesla did that.
I know he figured it out.
And
by the way,
it's Nikola Tesla. You know what I'm saying? He never built that, or I mean, he did that with the Tesla coil. I'm talking about just the fact that these exist and archaeologists find it. I mean, if you look at around the world at the same time, all around the world, civilizations started building pyramids on every continent. Did the Egyptians 4,500 years ago, get on their cell phone? Yo, Mayans. Yo, Egyptians. Egyptians here. We're going to start building pyramids. You want in?
See, I can't have that part of the conversation with you because I don't know enough about that. And if that is, I'm not saying you're lying, but I'm saying I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if they really did start building pyramids all at the same time. And they're not exactly the same. I've seen the Mayan pyramids don't exactly look like the Egyptian pyramids.
Well, no, they are.
There's a big difference.
They are slightly different, but they're all the same. I mean, you know what I mean? They're all built for the same purpose. They never had tombs in them. They never. I mean, just like we build houses all over the place, but they look different. But they're all for the same purpose. Each area on Earth is going to put their own little spin onto it. Before the Great Pyramid,
different types of builders.
I mean, you gotta, you want to. It's a hot property market. You make it stand out. Now, I mean, they were building step pyramids in Egypt before they built the Great Pyramid. But I guess maybe you need a centralized pyramid, one that is central to the energy distribution of the world. You know what I'm saying? So you have small pyramids here and there, obelisks set up everywhere to keep that power moving. And then like the smaller step ones, they're substations. They're just.
Does it need to be like a world energy power, or does it just need to be a singular, just
I think they
like
just.
Beacon? Why can't it just be a beacon?
Well, think about, okay, everywhere that there's a pyramid and you go off into other cities, Roman cities, Washington, D.C., even though that's modern, over in Egypt, in Southern America, there's obelisks. They're made out of granite, high quartz crystal content, good for storing power or receiving power.
Did you see the statement or the question from Stuart about the jeweled tubular drills? I don't know what any of that is. Do you know?
I've seen things like that, but even
what's he talking about? Because I don't know.
They said that they might have used.
I never thought about it, but diamond is hard enough to cut granite. If they knew about diamonds.
Yeah, but how are you going to fashion your tools with diamonds in them?
They don't have any
fashion with copper.
They rudimentary. I mean, they chip it away into whatever shapes they need it to be in.
Where do you get diamond from?
What do you mean?
You usually get diamond from deep in the ground, man. Like, and if you only have copper tools, you ain't going down into the ground very far.
Well, when diamonds were first discovered, we weren't digging thousands of miles below the earth. So, I mean, they're not just underground.
Well, I'm not saying they're just underground. I'm just saying.
So what he's saying is, right here, I'm gonna bring it up. This is Penn Museum. They like to, they have a nice relation with China, but that goes on to a different show. I think this is it. Yeah. All right. So they said this is a stone that was cut, during the Egyptian time. You can see the rings. All right. That was found around the pyramids. Now, if I take you down here, this is a modern coring produced by a mason's diamond tubular drill. That's ancient, ancient Egypt. That's all
Right.
granite on the bottom. That's granite. Look at the precision of that.
Just true.
That is not cut with copper or a wire. I mean, it is polished. These corners are sharp. They're not done by
the base looks more impressive than the other part.
Well, I mean, that
I'll be
other part
honest.
is probably limestone, and it's gonna chip. And but-
I still say, man, if human beings left to their own and everything around them, eventually we figure out how to do things. I think we're a very determined species, and we figure those things out. We always do.
But
I mean, look what we've done with metals and all this stuff. All this stuff we built throughout the time we've been here. How did we build all this stuff? Who thought to make a computer chip? Like, who thought to make an air conditioner? An air conditioner.
Look, I want you to think about this. All right, from 4,000 or 5,000 since Mesopotamia, okay, to 1940s, nothing changed.
Well, no, there was a lot of changes throughout that time. I mean, we had lights, we had electricity. I mean, there was a lot of things.
Discover electricity. We harnessed electricity, and as a matter of fact, in the 1930s, electricity still wasn't everywhere in America.
Well, by the 1940s, we were doing a lot, though. We used. I understand where you're going with this, but what I'm saying is we've done a lot more. I mean, you're talking about World War III or World War II is right there, or were the World Wars were right around that time.
And we had what?
By that time, we were already building buildings. We had a lot of different things.
That's simple, but what I'm saying is,
you're going with the Roswell thing. I get where you're going.
Right, from 1900, from Mesopotamia to basically 1900, we rode horses and had wagons. In 60 years, almost 70 years, we went from riding horses to the moon. All right, that doesn't add up.
Figured out how to manipulate metals.
No, we found a crashed UFO in Roswell, and after that, if you watch the timeline, it's basically flat from the beginning of human civilization until Roswell. But then it goes straight up off the charts.
I wouldn't necessarily say flat, though. I mean, we did a lot before that.
What?
The automobile?
That's a simple design. I want you to think of an automobile.
Wait. The combustion engine is not a simple design. Thank you very much.
In the 1940s,
internal combustion engine.
It was too. It is mechanical. Okay.
It is mechanical.
It was mechanical, but we did a lot.
No, we didn't. What did we do? People.
What do you mean? What didn't we do? What didn't we do? We did a lot before then.
How do we go from simple radio, okay, which is just a frequency, not hard to produce? A radio is not hard to build. It's just a receiver. Right. How did we go from that and the internal combustion engine? I find oil. We couldn't do it before until we find oil, something combustive enough to do it. That makes a piston go down, and it's a mechanical machine. We had steam power. Same thing, just with using gas, more volatile. To resonating crystals inside of a silicone chip that computes power. You don't make that leap. To cell phones, you don't make that leap. To lasers, you don't make that leap. That is not a normal progression forward. That is, look, we got a radio. Now we got lasers and cell phones and computers and microprocessors and semiconductors. We didn't come. We don't. You don't make that leap. That is impossible.
Oh, I was gonna do it. I was gonna get him
Okay,
going.
okay.
You beat me to it,
No,
Chris.
I just, to me, it's like this. Like once we started down a road and we figured something out, like I understand the Roswell thing. Like I said, I do believe in aliens. I believe they're out there, but I think left to our own devices, we are smart enough to do a lot of that stuff anyway. Once we figure out one thing, we just
So now
keep pushing forward and making it better.
We are smart.
We still have the TV. We just made better TVs. We had phones. We just made better phones, and then we found a way to harness it without having to have a wire hooked up to it.
Did we make that, or did we find the technology and just reverse engineer it?
Who knows? You know what I mean? But
that's what this discussion's about.
I would go to the fact that we reverse engineered it. So basically, over the period of from I guess Mesopotamia is around 5,000 BCE. So we're talking 6,000 years. We basically were the same people. We had no new technology. Yeah. We walked around with lanterns. We killed whales to get their oil. And then in the early 1900s, and that's really when we started messing around with electricity, which is, we didn't invent it, we just discovered it. How do you harness it? How do you harness the electricity? Simple. I mean, if I discover something, I mean, I just have to learn what uses it has. So we got to the point where we had radio. But after that, I mean,
the first radios had crystals in them, just FYI.
Well, the first radios had vacuum tubes.
Right, but they also had crystals.
Right, they did. But that's just to receive vibrations. That was not too hard.
I was just trying to help you with your point about crystals. Sorry.
Right. So it is a gigantic leap. I mean, after Roswell, then we started messing with nuclear power. We started understanding atoms. We started understanding semiconductors.
When was the Roswell crash?
1940s. Something.
No, I don't remember now. I thought it was early 50s. I might be wrong about that.
You say if it was early 50s, that means like.
Don't quote me on that, but
we were messing with nuclear technology before that.
1947. Okay.
Yeah.
When was the end of World War II?
It started in 1945.
When did we drop the nuclear bomb?
Well, much later.
55.
No, it was early that.
But they were working on that nuclear bomb for years.
It was atomic, which is a much more rooted there.
Well, yeah, an atomic bomb. We were. I'm
well,
pretty sure that was before Roswell.
The atomic bomb happened pretty quickly, actually. They weren't working on that for like years and years.
Yeah, if you watch the movie Oppenheimer, they were working on that for a little while. Like they were working on it for several years.
Well, I mean,
like the mathematics and all that, like they were going down that rabbit hole for a while before they actually built the bomb and figured out it worked.
I saw your moon landing was fake. Prove you wrong. Are you a flat earther, Stephen?
I just had to put that on there because you said something about the moon and all.
I think that's a great
saying that too.
You know, I just figured out our Saturday shows. We're gonna let Stuart put up a bunch of stuff and let Greg argue with it. That'll be our whole Saturday show right there every week. We don't have to do a thing. We can just sit here and laugh.
Again, I'm not saying I'm not arguing the fact that yes, Roswell happened. There maybe we took some of that technology and reverse engineered it and made it. It gave us a boost.
That I do believe.
I would say it gave us a boost. I think we were already on our way to that anyway. Just give us a boost.
Look, there is not far-fetched and hard to say that alien technology that happened, you know what I mean, that was on Earth millennia before humans were.
I don't know.
Because the pyramids, the ancient sites, Machu Picchu, the Nazca lines. All right, all these things.
Stewart's a dick.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Hitler, before the war in the 30s, he sent scientists all around the world to gather alien technology. Those are facts.
he did. You're right.
What?
I
Sorry,
said,
I was
I
messing with
said
Stewart.
in the 30s, Hitler sent scientists all around the world to gather alien
Oh
technology.
yeah. No, I read that too. And like I said, I'm not disputing that fact. You know what I mean? Or those theories. Put it that way. I mean, you know, no one puts it out there as fact, so you can't really say fact.
Well,
but
I've heard another theory about the pyramids other than aliens. It seems far-fetched, but what the heck? We're already going down the rabbit hole. What
A
if
lot
it
of
was
them.
what if time travelers came back, gave ancient Egyptians modern knowledge? You know, not knowledge of modern
That-
advancements.
see now, hold on. Aliens make more sense than that to me.
Well,
right.
hold on. Now
I'm
here's
just-
here's
okay,
the
go
one
ahead.
thing
Go
that
ahead, go
messes me up with aliens is if you look at the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they have pictures that look exactly like our planes today and helicopters today. How would a super advanced
I don't know if that's true or not. I've never
race
seen that.
know about our modern
mean,
planes and
right.
helicopters? They would be way above that. You know what I mean? They
Well-
wouldn't bother with helicopters and planes. So I can find those pictures. I have to look for them, but there are pictures of they look like our modern planes and helicopters right
See,
there.
Right,
And,
and but
what
this
if-
is this is what I was saying. Like, look, read this from Stuart. Why people are so interested is curiosity and innovation, where we try and learn things and advance. Hey, we have radio waves. Can we make them smaller? Use the other components and frequencies. That's what I'm saying. I think that when it comes to us as human beings, we are a very intelligent species,
Right.
and we are inventors.
Right.
We are always moving forward. Now, I'm not saying something else didn't step in and help us. Like, you know, maybe Roswell is true, you know, because they haven't really told us yes or no. And maybe that's where we got some of our technology boosts.
Right.
But I think we would have gotten there anyway, eventually.
I think we would have.
but it did give us
Right.
a hell of a boost
Right.
because it set us into the future probably by 50 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it definitely stepped us up.
Thousands of years. It put us in the
Well, I'm
future.
talking about the TVs and shit like that.
Well, I mean, so if you think the military technology is usually 20 to 50 years beyond what we even know exists. So
Yeah, but like the only way we know that is if they show us. If they don't show us, we don't know if they're 3 years in front of us or 50 years in front of us. I believe you. I'm just saying, like,
as Scott said,
I need proof to believe that they have something that
the people, well, I mean, that it's easy. I mean, yeah, because you don't see it. Like GPS was around long before they ever let us know it
The
existed.
military was.
yeah, no, I know, but it's what I'm saying. It says 50 years advanced. How? Like, what I mean by that is like, on what levels? Is it just they found a better GPS that we won't see for 50 years, or is it they have space lasers that are
Yeah,
blowing stuff up?
energy
They
weapon.
definitely have space lasers, and I think that we are using anti-gravity technology
Oh, I
right
think
now
we-
that they're not
We
telling
might-
us about.
We might be it's but this is a whole thing, and I don't want to turn this back into the weekly show of the government is lying to us at every turn, but that's I just get tired
They
of that
are,
shit.
but they are.
Apparently-
I mean, we can't avoid that fact.
And they're lying
They
to us.
are.
Modern weaponry and high tech weaponry has to be kept secret.
Right.
Because once your enemy knows you have it, then they want it too, and then that's it. You lose your edge. So they can't.
I
Tell
get
them
that.
they have.
Or
I get
if
that
it's
to an
considered
extent,
such a
but
substantial threat that it will be detrimental for your country only to have it, then every country would turn on you.
Right.
nah. Wait for it.
I mean, I can't. I
Yeah,
There you go.
there. Yeah, I was about to click on that.
That's true,
yeah.
Stuart. Thank you for the info, but that's right.
Anybody
But
watching
that-
this are our
We've
number one
had
fans
energy
back.
weapons.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
for the
how
two
do
people that are
not-
watching us,
I mean, this right here actually happened in Los Angeles, all right, how does people disclaim UFOs? They literally shot at this in 1941 and hovered over Los Angeles. We lit it up and we're shooting anti-aircraft fire at it.
We
It
threw
definitely-
everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
at it.
we couldn't hit it. We couldn't do a thing to it. It's right there. It made the front page news.
Oh.
Scared everybody.
Right.
Do you think
I'm not-
currently like a semi
ahead.
that's sitting on the side of the road broke down? Like he's just trying to figure out where the heck he's supposed to go.
No. Around
The alien opens the window, throws his thumb out, like, hey,
Look,
I need a
Maybe
ride.
these people know where we're at.
Devin's onto something right there, man.
Oh,
Because like
yeah.
he's just traveling the universe. He's trying to get his delivery where it goes.
All right.
He looks down. He's like, "Hey, is this where I'm supposed to be?" He's reading his map, and things just start flying at his ship. He's like, "What are y'all doing, man? I'm just trying to check my map."
Right. Right.
I have a hazard on, man.
And then we wonder why they don't just come down and say, "Hey, we're
Right.
real. We're going to help you all out. We're going to push you
Right.
forward and help you with your civilization, and we're going to grow forward from here." They're
Right.
like, "No, last time we came down, y'all shot rockets at us."
Bro,
Well,
I'm
They
pretty
threw rocks
sure.
at us, man. Why are they
Right.
throwing rocks?
I'm pretty sure when they
Going.
fly by our planet, they lock their doors and windows. Are you kidding? We're
Why
you
would
know,
they? Nothing we shoot.
I've
they
seen
can
those
hurt them,
memes.
So they're like,
they started
"Who are these
coming.
people?"
They started coming after we started playing with atomic energy,
The nukes and all that. Yeah, you're right.
So
It is.
They said
mean-
you have mass destruction now.
If you don't believe, yeah, that's a good point, Stuart. What the heck?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, just give me 1 second here.
I want to go back into the.
He said aliens stopped by to purchase weapons from the U.S.
I mean, now you're right, Stuart, about we would absolutely sell them weapons because we're just money whores, but
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think they want our weapons. I'm sure they're way more advanced than we are. If
No,
they can
they would-
traverse
they
the
would buy them.
galaxy, they
They would
can
buy them.
make weapons, you know.
They put it in like their museums. Like
They're
look at-
historical. Yeah,
Is
they're
that it?
historical.
Look
Look
these
at this
people,
crap,
Look at
you
this
know.
absolute garbage.
Look,
This is
it-
made so
they-
bad.
They're
Right.
like, even when we were back, like not so sophisticated, like we had stuff that did way worse than this.
Right. Yeah. Our
So
kids
much
have
more powerful.
toys that do
I
more
honestly-
damage than these things, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah,
you
I just,
said
like-
before-
Yeah.
You said before that you believe that we don't really match what exists here on Earth, bro. I think we are
Right.
like just settlers from another world, bro. Honestly.
Well, yeah, I thought you meant on here. No, yeah, but I have said that on our talks on while we're driving that
Yes.
like, are we similar to the apes and stuff like that? I guess, but like my whole thing with that, and I think it's funny because I think it was which comedian was it? The little short black dude, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
He said, if we came from apes or gorillas or monkeys or whatever, how come there ain't just people coming out to the edge of the forest like, hey, I evolved like y'all. I'm here.
Or where's
Come help
any of
me.
the other humanoid species? Like, there's
Right. Like we
others.
were the only ones that evolved. And, like, look, back to the pyramid thing. I don't know who built them. I just think that maybe when going down that rabbit hole of the aliens did, I don't know if they did it or not. But I believe that if we are left, if human beings are left to our own devices, eventually we will just start building stuff. We're inventors. We're also very destructive too. So
We are.
usually
And
the
I
things
agree,
we
but
build destroy stuff.
I think that we got great advances. We got jump starts, here and there.
Oh, I
And
believe that. And who knows? I mean, maybe they did build the pyramids. I don't know. But
Well-
I think that we could have if we put enough effort into it.
right.
If
Or if
you
we had enough ancient technology.
if you want to know if aliens exist and you want to know the truth, read the
I
book
believe
of
they
Enoch.
exist. I've said that several times.
Read the book of Enoch. But it is a firsthand account of visitation from aliens and explaining to humans what the universe is and what it means. It's how
Yeah,
it
like
works.
I said, I believe in aliens. I mean, there's no way when even in the cities with all the light pollution, you look up in the sky and all those stars out there.
Yeah.
You're telling me that there ain't somebody on one of those stars looking back the other way and look at all those stars. I wonder if we're the only ones out here. Like, no, man. I mean, I don't see how people can even think that
Right.
that vast, open, and it's just nothingness. I highly doubt it.
Well, if you want to bring it to religion,
That's hard to believe.
if you want to bring it to religion, I think it's kind of interesting that if you want to look at any scripture, you basically get
Excuse me.
what we know about religion from visitors. You know what I mean? We always like angels or whatever came down, told us some stuff.
Right. The visitors.
That's what we
I've
believe.
seen that
right?
movie. It's weird.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, they very well could have been aliens. And if they were religious based, then maybe the reason for the pyramids, or the supposed reason, actually might be that. Like energy.
Landmark. Oh,
What
energy.
do you call it, Greg? You always talk about this, the secret.
The secret.
The law of
Maybe
attraction.
the law of attraction. Maybe all of everything that they did back then was entirely based on the secret. So maybe all of the energy in the pyramids was like
It's
a
still
collection
it.
to use the secret. And that's why it's still a religious symbol, which with the oldest writings in the world, apparently,
It could be.
inside the pyramids.
I don't know.
Pyramid
I can see
texts.
that.
And I did just find something that said that there are actually mummies that were found in the pyramids.
Yes, there were some.
They were
Not
never.
many.
Not in the
Now,
not in the
that
big
is-
ones.
According
Nope.
to this, it is untrue. It says the first pyramid built was the step pyramid of Djoser. And they said they found a rib, a humerus,
sure it's
and
not
a left foot,
Gozer?
and part of the stomach.
Shut up. Scott.
CJOSER.
Sorry,
So I don't know how
I'm just
you gonna say
messing with
that.
you, Devin.
Oh, I didn't realize.
I'm just messing with you.
I didn't realize. What is that from?
Well,
Oh, Ghostbusters.
A
Oh, okay,
rib,
okay.
a stomach is not a.
Well, it's not a full mummy, but they're saying they found parts of human remains there.
Okay, someone died when they built it, or somebody took somebody in there and murdered them.
In the
You know what I'm
in the
saying?
Look,
specific,
oh,
in the
holy
specific
crap.
tomb for
Right.
that king, for that pharaoh.
Yeah, and I'm having a family situation. I'm gonna have to dip out about 5 minutes early, but we're
That's
trying to
fine.
get a license accomplished here today.
He's putting young
So-
drivers on the road. How dare
Yeah,
you?
young drivers on the road so they can kill y'all.
No, keep him
Oh,
on. He
no.
can't go do that. No,
Terrible.
no.
My
we don't
son
need
and your
that.
daughter could hit each other.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, no, I also with the Great Pyramids, we'll go back to a little bit to the being the power plants.
Yep.
Or tombs. If it was a tomb, it wouldn't have a door, right?
Right.
They have doors on there, and I was watching something earlier before we got on here saying like that tombs don't have doors. If it was a tomb, it wouldn't have a door. They have a door so they can get in there and they can maintenance. You know what I
do
mean?
what they
You
need
do
to do.
maintenance and all that and make sure everything's working properly.
Yeah, you gotta.
It would just be crazy if it like. Why doesn't it work anymore? Why did we not use their?
Look,
why did we not
probably
use
doesn't
their technology that they used then
It's been erased.
and do it now?
Because the
can't charge
religious
you.
leaders hold it all.
Right.
Yes, they don't want us to know this. If we knew there was something bigger than humans,
Right.
we wouldn't listen to our government. We're like, screw you, government. Screw you.
Well,
We're-
I'm not saying that the alien thing. I'm saying it seems like a way for everybody to have electricity for free,
Well, right. But remember,
and
Nikola
they don't want us to
Tesla.
have that.
Nikolai Tesla did that too. He died, and all of his work disappeared. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
his son went to the hospital or the hotel room, found him dead, and all of his works was gone.
And-
all
and-
of his paperwork was just
Yeah.
And
gone.
unfortunately, it goes back to again, the government doesn't want us to have that.
No.
Or somebody, I won't even say the government, somebody out there, some
Oh, they
entity
Well, of
They say
course.
it was the
Doesn't want us to
FBI.
have
They say it was the FBI that took it.
Okay, well,
So-
we're back to the government again.
Think about it like this: even if you have a 50% tax on free, it's still nothing. So they
Yep,
would
a
never
free
want that to
society. A
That
free
is-
society.
well,
A free
sorry, I tried to do
society
it too.
cannot be controlled.
That's
You're
right.
100%.
That's
Yes,
a
it
very,
is.
very true statement.
A lot harder to control you. You know.
All right, guys, I have to hop off here. I'm sorry I have to leave the show early, guys. I really do. You guys take them out in the last 4 minutes, and
You're a
I'll be
quitter.
watching you. I'll be watching you as I go do some horrible things.
Get out of here. We don't want you no more.
Go
Leave.
do what you got to do, bro. We understand.
I'll see you guys Monday.
Yeah.
All right,
And-
later.
Later.
Yep. Okay.
Well, now that he's gone, we can actually have some fun.
Agreed. So
No, I like I don't know. I mean that stuff with Nikolai I can't even say his name right.
Nikolai
Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikolai Tesla.
Mhm.
That stuff with him was crazy
it's
because
Tesla, not Tesla,
Te-
by the way.
it's Tesla. I said Tesla.
I have been, corrected on that many times.
I said Tesla. Did I say Tesla? I meant to say
No,
Tesla.
No. I'm just bringing it up because I figured.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
laugh.
But yeah, he was figuring out a way to give everybody free electricity too. They say that he got his it was basically the same concept from the pyramid, what the pyramids were doing, the power plants, the pyramids.
Right.
Whatever I was watching, I was going down a little bit of a rabbit hole before I got on here.
Well, I mean, it's not so much the free energy that is a great concept. Don't get me wrong, but the fact of having free energy that you don't have to plug in. I don't have to have a plug that goes into a wall or whatever. I mean, that's just mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know
You
if
can
it worked
literally
like that.
power
But
everything you want just walking around. I mean,
could you? I don't know if it worked
That-
like that.
that
I don't
was
know.
the
I
It
didn't,
theory.
would create
That was the
ambient
theory.
energy.
right,
oh, okay.
It'd
well,
be
then
like
that
a
would be cool.
radiator, you know what I mean?
right. That was
Right.
the theory behind it.
And if we
Yeah.
ever did that, some little published study would come out and say that it would cause cancer or some shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, it would be illegal in California almost instantly.
It'd be like energy exposure is cancerous.
All right. I mean, because
By the way,
look,
we
have you?
another pill-
And then,
we have
and
another
then the
pill for it.
person that discovered the natural cure for cancer will, they'd end up dead and all their research would disappear. And,
And then all
Right.
of a sudden we'd lose ambient
Right.
energy again because
Right.
it would be
Yeah.
not good for us. So we have to go back to oil and money.
Everything's bad
Right.
for you in
and
California.
some stuff we can tax, exactly.
Well, that's what I say. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I know this is going to be I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. I've said
Uh-oh.
this plenty of times. Brothels are illegal because they can't tax bodies.
You're right.
Do
Partly.
you get it? You get what I'm saying without having
Right.
to say what I need to say to get that
Right,
through a little
right,
bit quick. Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
shaking your head,
although-
Devin.
We
look,
need a counter. Sorry.
I'm gonna
Right, there needs to be a little clicker. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
5, 6.
So
It needs
I'm
to
a
be over
creative
your head when I
guy.
see you. Oh my
It's-
god.
I'm a creative guy. It's real
What is
simple.
that?
Anybody that walks in the door has X amount of tax put on.
Yeah, but look, that's why they don't do it. Well, no, they can't legally tell you what you
Right.
can and can't do with your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? To an extent. So,
If they could tax
Right.
breathing, they would.
huh?
If they could tax breathing, they would.
Oh, they would.
Oh, they already do.
They tax water.
The carbon
I mean,
tax. Every time you
Yeah.
breathe in oxygen. Every
Yeah.
time you breathe out carbon dioxide. So, and then, you know what I mean? Because we need plants, carbon dioxide, they breathe that and they give us back the oxygen.
Right.
But if they figure out a way
So in a way
to
they do.
tax me for breathing out carbon dioxide, I'm gonna be really upset at you, Devin, because you're the one who just
They're gonna
mentioned.
be like, sir,
quiet,
you've breathed in 75,000 oxygen particulates this year.
All right.
That's going to be a total of $25,000 in tax.
Hold on. So you're saying they're gonna tax me for breathing in the oxygen too? Not
Yeah,
only for the carbon.
Tax you on the oxygen particulates. 'Cause that's what you need to live.
Hey, look, pretty soon
Right.
it's gonna be like Spaceballs. We're all gonna have little tiny cans of oxygen. We'll be like, "Psst,"
Oh, I remember
you know
that.
what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and they'll tax that. So
I think it's going to be more
Oh
like
my
Futurama. Honestly, with the way way the world's going, it's going to be more like for Futurama.
Probably.
It is
Stupidity.
that idiocracy.
Yeah.
Nah,
Probably.
it'd be far more funny.
All right, Scott. You want to cut it down?
We're gonna wrap up. I'm gonna throw this out here real quick since we do a whatever weekend Saturday. Tell us, what you like, what you don't like. If an hour is too long, if it's not long enough, whatever, let us know. Thanks for watching, and we will be back live Monday. And everybody have a good weekend. God bless America.
Yeah. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks for
Enjoy your
watching.
weekend. Yep.